like Cypress Hill. Am I right?
It does. It's totally not what that is.
Right? Yeah,
it's totally not what that is.
It really sounded like that. Not that I know. But, sorry.
Oh, God.
All right. Starting off laughing. A little sore on the rib cage.
I'm still sore, and that was just me drinking my Zevia, just for the record. I'm still hurt.
That's what it looks like.
6 days off the bike. 6 days.
How's that feeling?
I rode the Peloton today.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, actually.
I got to tell you that the cold plunges have been helping a ton, I believe. At least, maybe it's psychosomatic, but I've been doing those once or twice a day. So thanks to my in-laws for letting me use their 50-degree pool. And you know what Lacey says?
What's that?
She says, Lacey's my wife.
Yep.
She says I should do lunges to help me stay in shape while I'm hurt.
It's a good idea.
That'd be a big step forward. Wait. I got to find the. Oh, come on. I totally screwed that up.
That's a great dad joke.
Well, yeah.
Where did that come from, Josh?
It came from Mike Mucker. So shout out to Mike Mucker for the 145 dad joke links that he sent over. Appreciate that.
Dr. Check Guy.
While we're doing some shout outs, thanks also to Mike for all the connections he's been hooking us up with, and to Chris Miracle for his connections. Yeah. And man, everyone's been hooking us up with connections. Yeah, so just big great. Shout out to everyone, to Brad Schmidt, who hooked us up with the water for, with the Culligan water for, or Sparklets water for the 24-hour race. That was super awesome with that kind of like
I had the pump,
self-pumping thing that worked great. And I filled up my Camelback, and
it really worked nicely. Thank you, Brad.
It was super perfect, man. So if you're ever, if you're in Tucson and you're ever at the Costco, one kind of Midtown, like, is it Midtown? It's
it's on Tanque Verde, Grant, Wilmot, that area there. Yeah.
Yep. You'll see Brad in there slinging water, keeping everybody hydrated in the dirty tea here. So,
hey,
thanks to Brad.
I know we're going to talk about some bike prep and things like that before rides. I actually got some dehydrated water. I just don't know what to add. Sorry.
Is that a joke? We got to start. This is the second joke that has not landed well today. We just started.
When you have to ask, is it a joke?
Is that the joke?
It's probably not good. All right. Sorry, everybody. I tried.
Yeah. Okay. So just Mike and I, just Hype Man and I today. Back to our roots. Couple things we thought it'd be interesting to talk about, me being hurt right now. And so we thought, first and foremost, a podcast on, a few things you can do, specifically to your bike to help decrease the chance of you getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Because, the injury that I'm suffering through right now definitely would have been avoided if I would have done one of these things we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. Before I rode, because it was a bike maintenance related injury. And then what are some things you can do to stay positive while you're down, which is not able to ride?
Yeah, it's a big discussion as people who have been hurt, and the one thing they have besides work and responsibilities is riding a bike.
Right.
And when that goes away, it's a challenge. I mean, no joke.
Start to go
right?
crazy.
Yeah, and I think especially the longer the duration.
Yep.
So yeah, looking forward to talking about that, Josh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it should be good. So,
okay. So now you got hurt recently.
I did.
Okay. We know the story from the last episode.
Yeah.
Okay. But just, I'd like to kind of review that, but also if you recall, when Eric was in town, before the ride, the week before the 24-hour
let's talk about
race.
his injury and what happened and what we think may have caused it.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, same idea is perhaps before we went on that ride, or maybe even during the ride, because it was a long ride.
Yep.
Very bumpy, crusty, or very technical.
Yep.
And so he was descending a hill, going very fast.
Yep.
And then he actually went over the bars or something, really violent crash.
Yep.
And he got scraped up. Could have been a lot worse. But Josh then was looking at the bike, and he realized that the back wheel was actually loose.
Yep.
And was it back or front? Maybe it was front.
It was the front wheel.
Even
in
worse.
this case, it was actually the front wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, front wheel loose, and that probably contributed.
I thought that he may have gotten some chatter from that wheel. I mean, it was basically completely unhooked. I'm surprised the wheel didn't fall off.
Yeah.
And he may have gotten some chatter that started to shake him real bad, and he was going so fast, and it was pretty technical that he just got himself in trouble and went over the bars.
Yeah. So that was the first episode that
was a pretty gnarly. I mean, he was out. Yeah. I mean, he hit. I mean, it was road rash, but it was like,
it was very deep,
pretty gnarly road rash.
And I don't know if he shared this with you, but the last week, his back. That's why he was taking the muscle relaxers. When he said muscle relaxers and IPAs go well together,
I thought he was telling me he was for my ribs. No,
no. Yeah. No, this was his. He thinks it's residual where it worked. The pain worked through, and now went to his lower back.
Oh no,
and he is out of commission, not riding, nothing. But he's getting better now. But I mean, but like, again, that's another example that could have been prevented with a little pre-ride bike check.
Pre-ride, yeah. And so in my crash, kind of just we talked about this in the last podcast, the one with Dane, but I'll just recap real quickly. Working on getting the little guys into riding, and we had done a mountain bike ride and cut it a little bit short and came home. Grabbed the BMX bikes so we could just kind of continue, like extend the ride a bit and ride around the neighborhood. And Maddie, my son, he's got a 20-inch BMX, and I recently bought a Cult, I think it's Devotion, 29-inch BMX bike, which I absolutely
so sick looking.
love it. It's
the raw metal.
Yeah, it was super inexpensive. It's super heavy, whatever, but it's so fun to ride. Single speed, whatever. And I pulled it off the rack, and felt my rear wheel. So this is a sliding dropout, right? So the rear wheel, the way that you tension the chain on a single speed bike with sliding dropouts is you actually pull the wheel back,
put some tension on it
until you get the chain where you want, and then using on this particular one, and typically it's 17 millimeter
box end.
Yep. What'd you call them?
Box end wrench or socket.
Socket wrenches. You threw me, man. You're using terms I don't know. So 17 millimeter socket and tighten it up. And so when I pulled it off, it was loose a little bit, and the chain was a little rattly, and the back wheel wasn't completely tightened. And I was like, we're just cruising around the neighborhood, no big deal. And so Maddie and I cruise around the neighborhood, and we start racing, and then. He's like cutting me off. I'm cutting him off. And next thing you know, I'm standing up and we're in a full sprint racing back to the house as fast as we can go.
So you were off the seat.
Out of the seat, full sprint, coming around a corner. And I went to go down with my right leg. And you haven't seen the bruise on the inside of my leg here. It is black.
Really?
Yeah. So I went to pedal and I thought my cranks broke off. That's what it felt like. And I just went straight from full pedal at a full sprint to in a millisecond to right side of my chest
on the pavement,
on the pavement, on the concrete. And then scraped the crap out of my knee. I was bleeding real bad. I didn't know at the time, but I had scraped the inside of my left thigh on my top tube. Yep. And it took about a week, and now I've got this giant black bruise from that top tube. But the worst thing was I cracked a couple ribs.
Yeah. Did you go to the doctor, by the way? My wife wanted to know.
No.
He just
there's nothing they can do.
All right.
I mean, I can feel them.
Yeah. Like they're not sticking in your lung or anything.
They're not sticking in my lung.
Okay.
There's nothing they can do. So what's the point of going, man?
To double check, I guess.
I mean, hey, your rib's broken. Yeah, no shit. I knew that already. Okay. Give me $1,000. No, thanks. Yeah, I looked for all. I mean, I did all like the Google MD stuff and like self-diagnosed. And I'm like, hey,
you're good.
Hey, I don't have a perforated lung. I can take a full breath. Yep, I can take a full breath. I'm pretty sure I'm good. And so, I never went to the doctor. Okay. So what does that mean? Those two examples, right?
Yeah.
Chances are Easy's front wheel wasn't completely tight when we started.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we know for sure that my back wheel, by the way, what actually happened was the chain popped off.
Okay.
Right. So didn't have enough tension on the chain. I went to pedal, and instead of what felt down like my crank breaking off was actually me going to pedal and the chain just being dropped from the rear cog.
Yep.
And there was no
zero
tension, and it just threw me
full sprint,
just threw me right to the ground.
Ouch.
So had I have tightened that, wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And had easy of tightened that front wheel, I think he probably wouldn't have crashed.
Very probably. Right.
So what are some things you can do before every ride? Yeah.
So it takes a few minutes to do that. And we think, I mean, I'm bad at this, is before we meet at the trailhead or wherever, just the night before, if you get up early or whatever, take the few minutes to have a systemic check of your equipment.
Yeah, for sure.
We think, because as we all know, we want to stay on the bike versus off the bike. So these few minutes we think will save weeks of being off the bike, potentially.
Yeah. Okay. So we did. So we went. So Mikey went, and I don't think I've ever called you Mikey before. You had a weird look at your face there for a second.
Mikey likes it.
Mikey likes it.
No, it's good.
So we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So Mike did some research and said, hey, is there like a real simple way to remember, to perform a systemic check of your bike that you do every single time? It's super easy to remember. And he found something cool. So tell him what you found.
Yeah, we like simple, and we try to consolidate this into one place for you to take away some key things to remember. Okay, so they call it the M check.
The M check. So if you can imagine the letter M, and how you write the letter M, and I guess you can start from the left or start from the right, either way. But for now, I write my M's because I write Arabic. English.
I was going to say right to the
I write right to left, and left to right. But if I'm writing in English, I write left to right. So I start my M with the left-hand side. So we start with the back wheel.
Back wheel, yeah.
Okay, so if I start my M, the back wheel, I'm going to check to make sure, first and foremost, that my skewer or hub is tight, right? That the skewer, the back wheel is tight in there. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to check to make sure, I'm going to wiggle that derailleur to make sure that the derailleur is nice and tight into the derailleur hanger. Okay. Makes sense? The rear derailleur.
Yeah, it does. You're going to have to show me that one, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. So at the top of the derailleur is where it actually screws into the bike.
Got it.
And hanging off the bike is something called a derailleur hanger. That's what it screws into.
Okay.
And sometimes that will actually be a point of where things get loose.
Okay.
So you kind of just wiggle the derailleur there and make sure it's tight there. Okay. The next thing I'll do, and what I've seen a handful of times, is the actual cassette. Mm-hmm. So I'll hold the back wheel and kind of jiggle the cassette a little bit to make sure that the cassette on the back wheel is also tight.
Okay.
I'll do a visual check of the tire on both sides, left and front, to make sure that the tire appears seated. And obviously we're going to pump up the tire to the appropriate PSI, right? We do front and back, but we're talking back. We'll do front back.
Yep.
And then the final thing I'm going to check in the back is the disc brake, assuming that most of the people have disc brakes. And just make sure the caliper's tight. So if I kind of recap what I just said, first we're going to check, make sure that the wheel's actually, the skewer or the hub is actually tight and the wheel's in. Next thing I'm going to check is the derailleur on the derailleur hanger tight? I'm going to check the cassette, make sure it's tight. I'm going to check the tire, make sure it's seated all the way around both sides and that it's inflated correctly. I'm going to check the brake caliper in the back to make sure that's tight.
So that's 5 points to check on the bottom left of the M.
Did I miss anything?
The only thing that I learned after my crash, whatever year or so ago, was one of my spokes was loose.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, it broke, and so we had to change out that wheel. So I think just checking those spokes.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So you can actually just lift up the back of the bike a little bit and like spin the back wheel. Be careful to keep your fingers away from the rotor because you can chop your finger off with the rear rotor. Yep. But you can actually just like put your finger up against, as your back wheel is rotating, put your fingers gently against the spokes, and you can feel as they move by if one of them's loose. Sometimes I'll grab 2 at a time too and work my way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So spoke check.
Spoke check. Yeah. Okay. So wheel check, derailleur. We said cassette.
The bolt. Through bolt?
Yeah, that's the wheel check.
Oh,
so Yep. So your skewer, your through bolt, your derailleur, your cassette, the tire. You're going to check that caliper, the brake caliper in the back, and then, as Mike said, make sure your spokes are all tight and none of them are loose.
All right, so that's the bottom left, starting of the M. Yep. And then it goes up to the seat.
So I'm going to follow the seat stay as I go up the frame and look to see, is there any cracks or anything like that? Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to come to where the seat tube connects to the seat post, and you have your seat post clamp there. I'm going to check my seat post clamp, make sure it's tight. Then I'm going to go up the seat post, and I'm going to check where the seat connects to, where the seat post itself connects to the seat. Mm-hmm. Maybe wiggling around, just make sure it's tight. Mm-hmm. And if you got a dropper post, this is where I would kind of cycle the dropper as well. Make sure the dropper's coming up as you would expect it to come up. Mm-hmm. If for some reason your dropper's not coming up, first thing you want to do is check that seat post clamp and make sure, and this is, so we're going to talk a little later about the kind of tools we think you should have. And there's a handful of bike specific tools. Oh, yeah. There's a couple places where I really recommend using torque wrenches, and specific torque. And this is one of those areas. You definitely want to make sure that you are torquing your seat post clamp consistent with the torque specs. Otherwise, if you have a dropper post, you'll bind up that dropper and it won't return or go down.
So like damaging some expensive stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So so to kind of recap, you're looking at the seat post clamp, you're looking at where the seat's connecting, and you're cycling your seat, the dropper post there.
So the day that Eric crashed, your seat was giving you some problems.
Yep.
What was the verdict on that, by the way?
Yeah. So, the rails on the bottom of the seat
that connect. Yep.
That actually it's physically part of the seat had broke.
Okay. You could feel that it was creaking or something. It just didn't feel right.
So the bike was making all kinds of crazy noises. Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought like creak, identification is like,
creak identification, especially
nightmare for bike.
Especially for your seat.
Yeah,
you don't like the seat tube without a seat tube.
Yeah, it's no good. No good to have a seat post with no seat. I was on a ride where a guy broke his seat off, and we were. We were way out in the desert, man. It was a survival ride. We ran out of water, and got lost. And it was in the middle of summer in the desert. It was super hot. Yeah. I didn't think we were going to make it out. That was probably the scariest bike ride I've ever been on. Wow. But that poor guy, Matt, shout out to Matt Knox.
Oh, Matt. I've heard. Okay.
Yeah. Matt, rode back
without a seat,
with no seat, standing up the whole time.
That's brutal.
We call him the mountain goat. That guy.
Really?
That guy could just go. Anyways. Yeah. My seat had, broken off. The rail on the bottom had broken, and then when I came back and finally took it all apart and figured out what it was, I threw that seat away, put a new seat on, and I was ready to rock and roll.
So would you be able to check on a pre-bike check, like just kind of like twisting the seat a little bit?
So when you're doing that, we said seat post clamp, and then where your seat connects to the seat post, that's where I would have noticed it.
Okay.
Right. As I was checking that connection and kind of wiggling the seat, I would see, is it tight? Is it connected there? And then if there was anything broken in there, that's where I would have picked it up.
Okay. All right. Now, down to the valley of the M, we're down to the bottom bracket, cranks, pedals.
Yeah. So you're going to check a couple things. Let's start with the pedals. So if you're riding flats, a good visual inspection of like the little pins to see if you got a bunch of pins that are loose. You can tighten those up. That's a really easy fix. To tighten those up, usually that's a 2 millimeter or 2.5 millimeter hex wrench, maybe even a 1.5, depending on which ones you have.
Nice.
You want to make sure those pedals are tight into the actual cranks. Now remember, they're reverse thread. And so one side goes left side tight, one side goes right side tight. And you should be able to see that on your you should be able to see that on your pedals. A lot of the good pedals at least have like an indication of where they which way you go to tighten. So you want to make sure that they're tightened to the cranks.
Don't cross thread them.
Don't cross thread them. Yeah, that's not a good thing. If you have clipless pedals, you want to just do a visual inspection and make sure that everything's kind of solid and connected in there. I used to run Crank Brother egg beaters often, and it was not unusual for over time that kind of spring system in there to get worn out, and then the actual egg beater would like collapse in on itself, and that'd be a bad thing. So you just want to make sure everything's tight and connected and working as it should. Then you're going to follow your way down to the bottom bracket and just make sure that your cranks are kind of tight, connected well. This is a good point to kind of visually check your chain and your front cog there. Make sure your front cog's all tight and everything's good there. You see your derailleur cable coming through somewhere around there. You can kind of take a visual check there. So it's pedals, crank, bottom bracket. And I'm using a lot of words, but this whole thing takes like 30 seconds.
Yes. Right? Especially when you get the system.
Yeah. When you get the system. So we got we did the back wheel, we did the seat, we did the cranks. What's next?
Coming down. Okay, then we're back up to the cockpit and the head tube.
Yeah, cockpit. So probably like the most common pre-ride problem I find with any bike is a loose headset.
Oh, wow.
And what I mean by that is that you have your headset typically is pressed into the frame, and then your fork goes through that. And then connected on that fork is your stem, which goes out to your handlebars. Okay. And then there's typically a star nut down inside that fork tube, your steerer tube. And then there's a screw or bolt with a little top cap. And you kind of have 3 points of connection. Typically, you'll have that's this bolt that's going down through the star nut. And then you also have bolts in the side of the stem. So here's a trick. You want to grab your front brake. You want to put your hand over the frame right beneath the stem. And you want to wiggle that bike back and forth.
If there's any play, any movement.
You should feel no play.
You said left.
So it's your front brake.
Brake.
Front brake is your left hand, right? Mm-hmm. So right, because if you're listening in America,
I was going to say
if you're listening in England, it's different. So let's not use left and right. Let's just say your front brake. Grab your front brake. Put your other hand down, or cup it around that, just below the stem. Cup it. You know what I'm saying? And you can shake the bike. If you feel any movement, you should feel no movement at all. If you feel any movement, you loosen up those. First and foremost, you loosen up the bolts just a little bit on the stem that is holding the stem to the steering tube, and then you'll tighten down that bolt that goes through the top, through your top cap into that star nut, and then that'll compress it, and that should take away any play that you have there.
Okay.
So that's the first thing you need to check, and I would tell you probably 9 out of 10 bikes that I'll go check.
They're a little loose.
From someone that is not like an avid cyclist, doesn't take care of their stuff that well, you'll find that every time. So then you check all the other connections, right? So you check the stem in how it's connected to the steerer. Check the stem, how it's connected to the handlebars. As we go out left and right on the handlebars, you'll check to make sure your dropper lever is connected and strong, and that there's nothing wrong with the dropper. You'll check your shifter, make sure there's nothing wrong. It's connected well. Nothing looks weird with your shifter. Check your lock-on grips. So I had a situation this year at Angel Fire when I was going down a black run and took a jump and landed, and I had my lock-on grips, and at the time I stopped using these, but at the time I was using those ergon grips that are kind of like paddles.
Yeah.
And when I hit that grip,
what do they call it? Throttle grip?
No,
where it moves.
Yeah, that's what happened. Was the grip completely moved down? I was using ergons that are like paddles, so it makes a difference. If you had round grips, it wouldn't have mattered. But so make sure your lock-on grips are tight. You also want to look at your bar ends and make sure that you actually have bar ends. And I'll tell you, I'm a NICA coach. And we didn't coach this last season, but Mike and I are both NICA coaches, and we coached 2 seasons ago. And one of the things that they'll do at the start line is walk around and make sure that every single kid that's racing has got bar ends
for safety,
because you can take core samples of the rider sitting next to you, right?
No joke.
All right. So we said first and foremost, you're checking for play with that.
The head
with the headset. Headset. Then your stem. Then you're moving out, checking all your brakes and your shifter and your dropper levers. Make sure that's all tight, and then check to make sure your lock-on grips are tight.
All right. So now last line segment of the M is the back down to the front wheel.
Yeah, front wheel
shock.
So it's a as you're moving down, you just keep an eye, make sure that cable's routed nice. There's usually a little screw in the front of that fork where that cable kind of bleeds into. So make sure that looks good. You're looking at your seals, make sure you don't have anything, sticking out. I'll probably cycle the fork a little bit, make sure it feels good. Make sure your lockout's unlocked.
Yep, depending on where you're riding that day, right?
I can't tell you how many times I've ended a ride on the road and put my compression all the way firm, and then got 3/4 of the way through the next ride, looked down and was like, "Oh, Jesus
no wonder
Christ.
why it's so bumpy.
No wonder it felt a little rough today." Because I had my lockout or my compression dialed all the way up. So make sure that lever is turned to that blue lever on the right hand side is turned all the way to the left versus all the way to the right or wherever you like it. And then you work your way down, and then it's kind of the same thing as the back, right? We're going to check, make sure that front wheel's connected. And again, it's not so much anymore, but that used to be with the new kind of screw in through axle. Not so much anymore, but it used to be with the QR kind of quick release ones. Man, those things were always. I mean, I was infamous for
Didn't you lose your front wheel once?
Yeah, you name it, I've had it happen. But you check that rotor. You check that caliper, that front brake caliper, and make sure it looks good. And then the same thing with your wheel. You're going to go around, make sure that your tire's seated well, all the way around. Tire looks good, and you got the right proper inflation. The one thing that we didn't talk about is lubing your chain.
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure you got the chain lubed. I mean,
how often do you recommend, or do you do that?
So this is really dependent on where you ride and the type of lube that you use. And what your rides are like. Mm-hmm. I live in the desert Southwest. It's super, super dusty here. I use a type of lube called Purple Extreme. For my type of riding, the duration that I ride, the weather and the type of lube that I use, I actually lube every single ride.
Wow.
And one bottle of Purple Extreme will last my family 2 years, and we ride
So it's cheap.
Thousands. Super cheap.
Yeah. Way to keep good maintenance.
Yeah. So I just clean off the chain real quick and then put a real thin layer on, let it sit for a minute, and then clean it off again, and I'm good to go. And I tell you what, since we've really gotten the lube game dialed, I mean, just lube in general has improved so many facets of my life. But as we get specific to bikes,
yes, specific to bikes,
this Purple. I mean, I really recommend all aspects of your life. You experiment with different types of lube and figure out the one that works best for you. But for the desert Southwest, it's Purple Extreme. And yeah, we have had just so much less drivetrain maintenance issues. We've had a lot more longevity of the parts,
and out there shifting,
and it's just shifting. It just works better. Yeah. So that, find the right lube for your area. And if you don't know, talk to your local bike shop.
Yeah.
LBS. And if you need other kind of lube advice, this is not the podcast for you.
Okay. So that takes us through the whole M check.
M check. Okay. So yeah. So I guess we went in a lot of detail there. You probably didn't need all that, but the key thing there is there's an M check. Make sure you check your damn bike before you ride.
Yeah.
If I had stopped,
yep,
I wouldn't be sitting here with broken ribs, getting happy because I was able to ride the Peloton for 30 minutes today.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And now you're out for a few weeks. Hopefully that's it.
Yeah,
right? All right. So that's the bike part. We have in studio here your Camelback setup.
Yeah.
So can we kind of go into the rest of what's important to the ride, the equipment that you bring, generally speaking, for rides?
Yeah, for sure. So so first and foremost, hydration.
Okay.
And so depending on the duration, of your ride, water, or I'll bring some type of, electrolyte and caloric intake,
yep,
fluid. Yeah. I really like LMNT. That's Lima Mike November Tango, LMNT.
Yeah, you talk highly about it. We can put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere. You can get it on Amazon, but a friend of ours, Megan, who runs a CrossFit gym here in Tucson called Iron Grip CrossFit. She's a really, really amazing athlete and coach. She recommended that or introduced us to that LMNT, and it's just an amazing, hydration electrolyte supplement. So nice. We use that. So first and foremost is hydration. I mean, I guess we live in the desert, so that's super important. Yeah. And then, sustenance, snacks. Yeah. You like to bring snacks, don't you?
Yeah, I do actually. I've been trying my best to talk about the benefits of dried grapes. It's all about raising awareness. So
that's the third joke.
That's third joke to announce it. But to that point,
that one was good.
Thank you.
I liked it.
So have you ever been out and for some reason you're just very hungry that day and you need like a little energy? So I always think it's not a bad idea to throw like a Cliff Bar or some sort of a granola bar, trail mix, just in your backpack for those days that you just need a little, like you mentioned, that caloric,
you need something to
refreshment. Yeah.
Plus, you never know who you're going to run across. So Lacey and I were riding out south of Tucson, kind of on some trails that were like a little bit farther out, and we ran across the guy that was doing the whole Arizona Trail.
Oh boy, yeah.
And he was like, 40 miles into the day or whatever. We were probably 10 miles into our 15-mile ride.
Just wiped.
And we gave him some food that we had. Lacey had food in her pack, and she gave him some food. You should have seen his face, man.
Really?
It totally made his day. He was like, this is awesome. Right. So,
nice. That's a good point.
You can help out other people too. Mm-hmm. Okay. So anything else about food that you want to talk about?
No, that's it. Yeah. You mentioned the water and he's like electrolyte type. And then snacks. Okay, that's it. Yep.
Just for the record, I don't smoke weed. I do have a security clearance, and it really is just me slurping this Zevia.
We call it Zevia. You call it Zevia?
I don't know what it is. You might be right. Because it's stevia, right? Or stevia?
Both. We say it's a tomato. Yeah.
You don't say. Okay. Whatever. It's super good, though. Yeah, this Dr. Zevia or Zevia, whatever it is.
That's your go-to flavor?
Yeah, again. This is one of them. Again, this was Megan from Iron Grip CrossFit recommendation, and she's got me hooked now. I've actually gone back to the diet she recommended just recently, so
right on.
See how that goes. Okay, so I'm looking at, first and foremost, in addition to hydration and then food, there's kind of two other categories of things I like to carry. I like to carry some basic tools, and so I carry some tire irons.
Okay.
I carry a small multi-tool, and I really recommend the Toe Peak Alien. In the most recent version, it's got lots and lots and lots.
Why is it called
tools.
The Alien? Is it green?
I don't know, man. It's just got an
alien
on it.
An alien on it. Okay, how heavy is that? I mean,
it's not light.
It's okay, yeah, but it's got everything in one nice compact.
Yeah, it's like a whole bike shop. It's like a whole bike shop
on one
thing. And then I carry 3 of the small CO2 cartridges.
3 of them.
And a little CO2, you call it a cracker.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know what that was because I'm never really a heavy drug user. But it's a CO2 inflator.
If you could count the times that you saved people with those with the CO2s with the cracker, I mean, you'd be
it's been a lot, yeah. And then I don't know why Scabs. I still have like a little. I don't know if I would carry it. Because since we're all running tubeless, I don't know. I got a patch kit in here. Yeah. I also carry a tube in the event that kind
of got to limp back home.
In the event that I got to limp back home and I can't repair the tubeless, and then in my bar ends. I have on one side, I have a tubeless repair puncture tool. And in the other side, I have some bacon strips, which are, you ever seen a car tire?
Yeah.
It's the same thing for a bike. They're just really tiny.
Oh, really?
So you get these little tiny bacon strips. And you get this little plunger looking thing that kind of looks like a fork.
Yeah.
And you stick that in, and then you pull it out, and it seals if you get a big hole.
Okay, can I just share something that has I talked to a guy who learned the hard way about that plunger.
Yeah.
So
he tried to do it in the sidewall.
No. That of course, that would not be wise either.
Yeah.
But he was using, he had a choice from wherever the mechanic store, the automotive store, had a plastic handle or a metal handle. And he's like, I'm going to get the plastic handle.
It was cheaper.
So he's pushing through. Now this is on a car.
Automobile.
Yeah. He's pushing through.
Oh God.
Yep. And he was a painter. Okay. He's like, labor, whatever. And that went punctured right through his hand.
Oh my God.
And like basically crippled his hand. Oh. So just for anyone using one of those, please, just use caution. When I heard that story, I'm like, man, have you had a similar experience?
No. Did you see where the swirl went through my hand?
Okay. I heard that's right. Same idea. All the way.
Idea. Back to the first podcast.
Yeah. Everything in the desert can kill you. Number one. Right. But yeah, so I always remember that. God. Just be careful using those.
Yeah. I don't think this is
it's not the same as an automotive tire.
Nowhere near this thickness, but
yeah. Okay, so those are in your bar ends, and you can just pull them out.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different cool places. I mean, you can research a bunch of companies. We just got I think Wolf Tooth makes them.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different companies that make them. And then after the Punk Rock Dan incident, where he lacerated his upper thigh, and luckily it was just a skin wound and not an arterial wound, which initially we thought it was an arterial wound. Yeah. After that, I've started carrying
tourniquet.
Yeah, so it's a little I guess emergency medical kit. And actually I saw this on Burn Peak.
Okay.
So Seth from Burn Peak, that's a good YouTube channel. Shout out to Seth. But he did a review of this Mend It kits. Okay. And so I bought a couple of these Mend It kits. And it has a little splint, has a tourniquet, and has all the kind of basic stuff you need to make it home.
And it's super lightweight.
Super lightweight. I throw that in the kit. Yep. After the situation with Punk Rock Dan, where we ended up having to use a strap that I had, and he took his shirt off, and we were making it work, but it was definitely not hygienic.
Right. But the other part is when you get back, then that'll get you back to your vehicles.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But I was also thinking it might be smart to have a more of a robust first aid kit
in your vehicle.
Which
I do have.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely have that. Yeah. So the Mend It kit, I will say also, it wasn't that expensive. So you can just kind of Google Mend It kits, and we'll put a link in the show notes to the Alien tool, into the Mend It kits, into, Mike's got, lots and lots of experience with crackers, so he can put his favorite cracker link there.
One time during band camp.
One time at band camp.
Yeah. All right, so that's the first aid ACE band. So no ACE bandage or
it's in there.
Wound dressing.
It's in there.
So that's in there.
All that stuff, all the serious wound stuff is in there. There's some minor stuff too. Mm-hmm. Another thing that's in there that's interesting for the desert, and maybe not just for the desert, but for anywhere, there's Benadryl.
Oh yeah,
so if you get
serious allergies,
you get bit by something, or you get into some poison plants or something, you can take a Benadryl, and that'll help if you're having a reaction.
It's a really good idea. Yeah. So some Benadryl. Okay, so some other things to add to that. Make sure you have on your list for equipment is going to be of course the helmet.
Yes.
So you bring it with you. It's in your vehicle or whatever, so you don't forget it. Gloves. I forgot those the other day.
Lacey forgot hers today.
Yeah.
And she rode without them, and she was like, she was so sketched out the whole ride.
Yeah, it is. It can ruin your ride kind of. Yeah. So maybe a checklist where it's, every time, so you don't forget. Especially after coming off of a injury for 4 to 5 weeks. Yeah. I mean, it's not fresh in your mind. I need my gloves, my helmet. It's easy to forget something.
Yeah.
Okay. Knee pads, elbow pads. Sometimes you see those.
If you're riding that kind of stuff. Right?
Yep. Glasses, sunglasses, some sort of eye protection.
Yep, for sure.
Sunblock, big one for us out here. I think everywhere nowadays.
Yeah.
Sunblock, real important. If it's getting close to dusk, or if you're going to be out there for a while, some sort of light, I think would be good just to get you back. One thing that you built me on my first equipment bag, Josh, I noticed you threw in some really key things, even though they're little. A little Schrader valve.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A little screw on Schrader. So if you go to the gas station, you can pump up your tire at the gas station.
Yep. So that was good.
And then a quick link for chain, which I totally forgot is in my kit.
Okay.
So that
was in there too.
Quick link for your chain to make sure that if your chain breaks, you can repair it.
We may have said this on another episode, but the little zip ties can also help.
Little zip tie, a little bit of duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the equipment checklist.
Yep.
All right. So that's your bike pre-check, equipment list. All right.
So let's recap what we talked about, right? So we said, because I like to recap. That's it's a big thing. I like to recap. Say it a lot of times. It takes people, at least the guys say it 3 times and they'll forget it.
Yep.
So don't forget the M check. So first of all, check your damn bike.
Yep.
Before you ride.
First and foremost,
just
make
do
the time.
Take 3 minutes and check your bike. Otherwise, I'm going to be off my bike for like 4 weeks because I didn't do that.
Right.
So check your bike, fix it. The M check is a great way to do it. Lube your stuff. Make sure your tires are inflated. Check your bike. Carry the right gear. We just went through all the gear. Make sure you got your gear. You know, when I was in the military and I flew, in military planes, I had a checklist that I had to carry in my flight suit. And every time we did anything, I pulled that damn checklist out. I can't tell you how many times. Yeah. It's right in my leg right here. I'm pointing to my right-hand leg because there's a pocket right here in my flight suit. Pulled that checklist for every single thing we did.
Checklist.
That's
a great idea. A bike checklist.
Yeah.
Make one.
Yeah.
And keep it accessible.
There you go.
Use it before you go out. Yeah. I like that idea. Checklists. Very cool. All right. So now that is, you recapped it very nicely, by the way. Thank you for that.
Some things that can help you from getting hurt.
Now, in the event, because it all happens, we talk about you pay to play, right?
Yeah.
So when it will happen, unfortunately, you do get into a crash. How do you stay positive when you're off your bike? Mentally, physically, the whole being.
Yeah. Heavy drugs. Lots of whiskey, beer.
Well, that's you are not drinking right now.
Not drinking right now,
actually. So
yeah, don't drink, don't smoke, don't ride a bike. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So like, what have I been doing? And everyone. So first and foremost, you got to triage yourself. Make sure that you're like okay, and you have a good plan to help yourself heal as fast as possible.
Okay.
I've been digging the cold plunges.
Mm-hmm. So you talked about the Wim Hof breathing and these cold. So you've been doing this for a while.
I have been.
Either cold showers, but now you've actually moved to the pool where it surrounds your whole body with 50-degree or sub 50-degree water.
Yeah. So it happens to be kind of still pretty chilly out here in the desert.
Yeah.
And so my in-laws pool across the street is like at, between 50 and 60 degrees. And I've been plunging in there for 3 minutes. And I think it has really helped accelerate I still do the showers every morning, cold showers every morning, but I really think it's helped accelerate the healing. It definitely makes me feel better. And as a matter of fact, when Mike, when you take off after this podcast, I'm going to go
jump back in the pool.
Yeah. And I just sent him a text and say, hey, I'll be in your pool for 5 minutes. Please refrain from skinny dipping. And then I send him a text when I leave and say, dipping is cleared for dipping.
It's cleared for dipping.
Cleared for dipping. You can go. Not that they do that, but yeah. They get those texts all the time for me.
So what a great son-in-law.
Yeah.
So when I was here a few days ago, your ribs were pretty sore still.
Yeah.
So you think the cold plunges have made a difference on the healing of the rib meat?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, man. I don't know. I mean, something has.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely feeling better.
So I just picked up today an exercise bike from Marketplace for Megan.
Oh, right on.
Okay, Megan is my wife. She wanted to start spinning.
Sweet.
At home. Yeah, so she's excited about that. And anyway, I bring that up because if the rest of your body's okay and you can do that, like you mentioned, it might help to just get some pedaling in on an exercise bike.
Yeah, which is like what I did. I'm 6 days off the bike with the cracked ribs, and today I got on the Peloton and rode for 30 minutes. I kind of tested it out. I got on kind of gingerly. Mm-hmm. Made sure everything felt okay. Yeah. I pretty much sat up the whole time. I wasn't because I'm still real sore.
You don't want to do more damage.
Yeah, I didn't want to do more damage. Key. But also I'm like going crazy. So finding other ways to exercise that aren't, hurting the injured part of your body.
Okay, so finding other ways to exercise without injuring.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. I've also noticed that you have taken on kind of like the tooling up of your bike shop. Okay. So
another way of saying I'm feeding my some people have addiction buying shoes.
Yeah.
Right. I have an addiction sneakerheads or women that like nice shoes or whatever, men that like nice shoes. I buy bike tools.
Yeah, he's sponsored by Park Tools.
I should be sponsored by Park Tools.
He had a Park Tool coffee mug. I said, did they give that to you for being the best customer of the month? He's like, no, I had to buy this one. But
so I've been watching lots and lots of YouTube videos about
you're
riding.
Learning.
I've been watching the Pink Bike Academy season 2 because I watched season 1, so I got to watch 2 and 3. So I just started season 2. I've been watching Calvin, who's the head wrench on the park, at least on their YouTube videos, and. Yep. Watched him build his new bike, learned some stuff there, saw a couple tools he was using that I didn't have. So I went and bought those. Every time that guy's like the big, he doesn't know this, but he's like the best. I'm sure there's other gearheads.
Sales guy.
He's like, he just uses something. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is. What is that? I'm Googling. I'm like, oh shit, I got to have that. Learning how to build wheels, which is something I've never done before. Learn about.
So cool.
There's four different, check this out, man. There's 4 different things that you have to think about when you're building a wheel, but there's only one way to adjust those 4 different things. Okay. So let me tell you what I'm saying. So there's lateral trueness. Okay. So that's left and right. There's radial trueness. So think, is it a circle?
Oh, circle. Yeah. Right. Radius.
Then there's the dish. Okay, so is the hub, is the wheel, the rim centered on the hub?
Oh, that's dish. Okay. Yes.
And then there's tension.
Okay.
And you have to balance spoke tension, hub dish.
It's like 4-dimensional.
Lateral trueness and radial trueness. And the only way you do all 4 of those things is by loosening and tightening the spoke nipples.
Dude, that sounds like you're like a chasing
Amy. it's freaking crazy, right? Like it's an art form to be able to do. And then there's all these nuances with spoke tension and like the drive side where your actual cassette takes more force because you're actually putting pressure on that. So they have to be higher tension. And then the tension's got to be balanced and the whole wheel's got to be balanced for tension. I mean, that
sounds wild.
I'm so excited.
You're getting it though, hey?
No, I'm not getting it, but I'm learning about it. Someday I'll get there.
So are you going to buy an actual rim, the spokes and the hub and
well, the first thing I'm going to do is just take apart all those rims I got sitting out in front of the house.
I love those.
And just practice on those.
Okay.
Right. For free.
Sure.
Right. And then once I can like take them apart and put them back together and get them dished and get them trued and get them, both lateral and radial trueness and I can get the spoke tension right. Yep. Once I do that like a dozen times, then I'll start building wheels.
So Josh, one of the things that I remember we've had what do we call him? The dog father, Ian at Premises.
Yeah.
So I've walked in there multiple times and there's kids. I mean, high school kids.
Building wheels?
Yes, building wheels like at Premises. I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, I just lace them through and isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I don't know.
BMX are easier.
I think, I don't know this, but I think that it's easier on a BMX bike because they have but I could be totally full of shit.
It makes sense.
So
I mean, 29.
I don't know.
That's a big.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. And I'll come back on and say I was full of shit. BMX is the hardest, and those
That's a good question, though.
Those kids are all wizards. Yeah, the next BMX guy we have on,
have to
ask him that question.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so another way we think to stay positive, which you alluded to, is like just working on the bikes. So maybe it's a good time for you to, really go through your bike.
Yep.
And especially if you had a crash, make sure that bike there's no crack. Yeah, it's not cracked anywhere, the frame and really go through that.
Yeah, I've been doing a ton of, in addition to like getting my bike shop, which is like my garage, whatever, my tool set up, all that cleaned and organized and set up nicely and everything in good shape. I know where everything's at. And then adding to the number of tools. I've been working on lots of bikes and just for the last week, just really been.
Yeah. And you call it the Zen
and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance was the book, I think, but Zen and the Art of Mountain Bike Maintenance now.
But that's a real thing for you.
For me, it totally is, man. I put on a Mountain Cog podcast or
right on
Pink Bike podcast,
yeah,
or Bikes and Big Ideas podcast, or GBN podcast. Any of those great podcasts out there, or Stoke podcast, or
right on.
Girls on Wheels podcast for our collaborating friends.
Yep.
Or listen to the news. Or I've been really into like Japanese lo-fi music lately.
Of course,
yeah. So Japanese lo-fi. Are you into Japanese
no, you
lo-fi?
sent me one. It's a grower. It hasn't grown on me yet.
No, it hasn't hit you yet. Oh man, it's so
I'm
good.
still working on it.
Yeah.
But
it's too punk rock for Japanese lo-fi.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Japan.
So now let's say, okay, you've gotten to that point. 4 weeks down. Fast forward. Okay, building the confidence. People talk about this to get back on the bike, right? And maybe do what you were doing before you, at the instance when you crashed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've helped me with this on my Nemesis.
Yeah.
When we do that every time. So I kind of want to talk about that.
Okay.
So you've crashed, many times.
Yep.
So do you have any kind of encouragement for people how to do that part?
Yeah, I'd say injuries is part of it. Any sport, you're going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to understand that. And so you strengthen it. You strengthen your body so that your body's able to handle it and you're not getting hurt because your body's not strong, and core strength is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. So strengthen your core. And then, ease into it, man. That's what I think. I think you ease into it. I guess this is probably really a personal preference thing.
Okay.
I would think.
So I forget who I was talking to, some exercise genius, and he said that yoga is the best form of exercise. And I said, that's a bit of a stretch.
Number 4. Joke number 4.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's awesome.
But things like that, like strengthening the core and stretching that. Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple things that I thought after I had my bad crash is just encouragement from others. So Josh would encourage me. He's like, you can do this. Don't be afraid of it. Also, I thought the word session comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
So you can session that spot, whether it's
we've talked when we had a bunch of ladies on, they're big on sessioning for some reason. Dudes, at least the dudes that I rode with, are not.
Yep.
I think that should be, I guess it's a little late for a New Year's resolution, but we got to session more.
It's so fun.
I think honestly, just life is so fucking busy.
It is.
I just don't have time. And so if we're out there, I want to get miles,
right?
Go. Yeah. We only have an hour. I don't want to stop for 15 minutes and session something and get 1/4 of the distance of the ride in. So we got to make time to session this year.
Make time to session. That's good. And then I think during that session though, you can build back that confidence.
Yeah.
So you can figure out your line, how to get through it, and then maybe go a little faster each time.
Yeah. Well, so back to the fundamentals, right? I think I've sent the Pink Bike How to Bike videos out. Ben Cathro,
so good, and
he's got a second season.
Oh, that's what you're watching.
The first, no, I'm watching the Pink Bike Academy, which is like a reality TV race program where 10 people start, and the guy that wins ends up get voted off the island until there's one guy left.
That sounds fun.
Yes, it's on YouTube. So the Pink Bike Academy, there's 3 seasons. Check it out; it's super cool. But Ben Cathro from Pink Bike does a How to Bike, and he's got a great set of intro videos, and he had kind of the 1.0 series, and now there's the 2.0 series out there. So, if you're off the bike, take some time and watch some videos on how to get better. And I really like those Pink Bike videos. I think Ben does a great job.
It's a great idea. And I thought it might be cool to set up your phone where you can actually put a video of yourself riding that spot. It's where you can see where's my body position.
Yeah.
And then either talk to a professional like Tara from Homegrown could give some excellent feedback, or maybe get a session from her, a lesson from her, or some other coach, professional.
Any coach in your local area.
Yeah. And that might also improve some of the confidence as well.
Coaching. So sessioning and coaching.
Yeah.
So learn some new skills, get better.
Yep. And if you don't have confidence in doing your own bike mechanic, maybe take that bike, especially after a bad crash, to a professional bike mechanic. Have him or her look it over.
For sure.
Give the good clean bill of health.
But I definitely I still recommend every cyclist should have some basic mountain bikes mechanic skills.
So that leads us to, I think, if we have time, go down that path. So you've set up a beautiful garage bike shop.
Uh-huh.
So walk us through kind of the tools that a person might need to do basic bike mechanics, and then maybe if they want to even go beyond that a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'll start with the basics that most people would have, the basic tools that most people would have, just in their house, if they're a homeowner or if they're a car
socket
owner.
Sets, wrenches.
Yeah, so you got wrenches, you got socket sets, you got mallets, you got needle nose, screwdrivers, hammers, stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So
pretty common.
All those tools are common, and many of them are used on bikes.
Okay.
Then there's some bike specific tools, and I think kind of first and foremost, you want to get a set of hex wrenches.
Okay.
From 1 to 8 millimeters.
Okay. Metric.
Correct. Yeah. Metric hex wrenches, and or Allen keys, whatever you want to call them. And there's all different types of styles and brands and connections and ways that you can do it. Amazon's got some really good ones, and they're really inexpensive. And something like 90% of the work you do on bikes, you're going to do
Allen keys. Allen wrenches. And you call them hex keys?
I do.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So when I go to tighten some of those Allen screws, sometimes the handle of my, let's call it a T-bar, whatever, it gets in the way. What shape is the best for working on bikes on that hex key?
So I've got like 5 different types of hex keys.
All right.
So I guess it depends on I would say if you're just to start out, just the basic kind of L shaped.
Okay. Yeah, that is
like
the most
Allen
basic
key is probably the best place to start. And it'll have kind of a long shaft that you can use that end, and then it'll have the L, and then you can use the other side as well. That's probably the best place to start. I have other ones made by Park that are T handles. I have some called stubbies that are really, really to get into real close places where you don't have a lot of clearance. I had one frame that I had to have stubbies, so I bought a set of stubbies. I've got some that are really, really long, so if you have to get in like from a long distance. You have some that are ball heads, so you can get at weird angles.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different options there, but I'd say just the basic L shape
should do the majority of what you're trying to
should do the majority of what you have. And I would suggest at least like Craftsman level quality, which for like probably $15.
Yeah, they're not crazy expensive. So that should be an easy one.
That's an easy
less
one.
Expensive, yes.
Yeah. As we kind of move down, so that's number one. And maybe even before that, you should have a bike pump.
Yep.
And you should have a bicycle pump that can handle both Schrader and Presta.
Okay.
It'll either have 2 holes on one side, or it'll be, dual sided, or some of them can handle both Presta and Schrader in the same hole.
Okay.
It just depends on the brand. I really like the Specialized bike pumps. I've had the best success with Specialized bike pumps.
And is that with the built-in pressure gauge, or do you like having the pressure gauge independent of the pump?
Yeah, so would recommend you get one with the built-in gauge just for simplicity.
Yeah. Okay. And they're accurate enough.
I mean, none of them are very accurate.
Okay.
But they're accurate to themselves. So if you like,
so that's your standard.
If you dial it and you just use that one pump and use the same pump every time, you should be pretty close to where you want to be.
Okay.
I've gone a step farther and have bought a digital gauge.
You could calibrate then. It's 1.5 off or whatever.
Yep. You can go from there. So a bike pump.
Bike pump.
All right. So you got the normal tools you'd have, hex wrenches or Allen keys. You got the bike pump. The next thing I would think about is some of the bikes are now coming with, instead of Allen or metric hex wrench heads, they're coming with Torx heads.
Oh, wow.
Which are like T25, T10, like a star. Yeah. So I'd recommend when you buy that hex set,
get a Torx set as well.
Get a Torx set as well. And
what numbers?
So you want at least through T35, I believe, and down to like T10. Okay. I think maybe T5. I can't remember, but I think T5 you're getting.
I think if you buy the set, usually it kind of comes with that gamut.
So I'd say, when you buy the hex, the metric, Allen key set, just buy a Torx at the same time. Sometimes you'll see them on Amazon. They'll come together.
Oh, okay.
Right. You can buy them all together. Okay. So you got the pump, got the Allen keys, got the torque wrench. You'll want to have, your consumable stuff. So like we talked about lube.
Yep. So
you got to have your lube.
Yep.
Also recommend a good bike grease, and, Park makes it really good. I think it's PPL 5. But really any brand of bike grease will be fine. And you'll buy like one little tube of it and it'll last you for years. Okay. So bike grease. Always have rags, like spare rags. And to be honest with you, I just use my old t-shirts.
Cut them up.
And yeah. So always have rags. Okay. And then sealant.
Tire sealant.
Yeah, tire sealant. So I run tubeless, and I like Stan's whatever sealant that you like to use, orange, or there's a whole bunch of different ones out there. Make sure you got sealant. And then if you got sealant, you need to have something to deliver the sealant. You don't have to, but I do like the the little
turkey
baster or, inject syringe looking thing. You can buy a nice one. Park's got a really super amazing one. It's like $50, but you can get one on Amazon for like $5 that works perfect.
Okay.
So,
because they seem to get gummed up at times if you don't clean them out.
You got to clean them afterwards right away. If you don't clean them,
is it water? Are those water soluble like that sealant where you can just rinse them out in a
I don't
sink?
know, man. I mean, I
at the hose or whatever.
I do it at the hose.
Okay.
I've never done it in the sink.
Right.
Maybe I should research that shit. I don't know. and then if you're going to get an injector, you need a valve stem remover.
That's what I need in my toolbox.
Yeah, you need a little tiny valve stem remover. And actually, a lot of the new tubeless valves are coming with valve stem removers integrated into the cap.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just bought a pair. I'll show you before you leave. It's pretty interesting.
All right.
All right. And then a chain brake. I really like, I would recommend spending a little bit more and get the Park one that's kind of big. It's a lot easier to get the leverage versus the real small one.
Okay.
And then to inflate tires, if you have an air compressor, that can work. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't have an air compressor, that cracker and your CO2 cartridge.
So that you can set when you redo your sealant, so you can reset the.
Yep. And I buy those CO2 cartridges in bulk on Amazon for like $20 for 30 cartridges.
Cool. Yeah, in bulk.
I buy them in bulk because we have so many bikes in the house. We go through a lot of them. But
so your compressor though will be strong enough to do that as well. Reset.
My air compressor today will. Okay. And one of the things that now that I've been going down the rabbit hole on what they call high volume Presta valves, because the standard Presta valves are low volume.
Okay.
And I think it started with Santa Cruz, and they have a company that kind of started making wheels as a spinoff of Santa Cruz bikes. I can't remember the name of the company, but they came out with the first set of high volume Presta valves. Tubeless valves. They're like $50.
Oh, wow.
For two. And so I was like, well, that's too expensive. So then I started researching, are there any other options? And I found 3 or 4 different companies that are making high volume.
What makes them high volume? Is it can't be wider, right?
Yeah. So 2 things. They are a little wider. Okay. The openings are a little wider, and they're set up to not allow sealant to clog.
Oh yes.
So they actually kind of at the
valve.
At the bottom, they typically seal off at the bottom and the top. And to get them to work, you have to like press them down so that they open at the bottom versus being subject to that sealant at all times.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So high volume tubes, but you don't necessarily have to have that. But yeah, my compressor will just my normal DeWalt,
from Home Depot, pancake one, everything's sweet.
Air compressor.
That'll do the job.
It's got enough oomph to set them up. And then the final thing I'll talk about is torque wrenches.
Yeah.
And you can get a torque wrench really inexpensive, and they have all different options. Park's got a whole bunch of like preset ones and that you can buy that are super easy to use, but like seriously recommend you get a torque wrench and in kind of a couple different applications specifically. If you're dealing with any type of carbon parts, make sure that you use a torque wrench.
Okay.
Cause you can overspec it, you can over tighten it and crack the carbon. So make sure you use a torque wrench for any kind of carbon parts. And then also what we talked about earlier, when you're doing the M check on your seat post, if you have a dropper post, you want to make sure that you don't have that over tight, because it can bind up your dropper. And so using a torque wrench there and really, I mean, you should be using a torque wrench across your whole bike, but at a minimum, if you got carbon or if you're on that seat post, you need to be using torque wrenches for those things.
Okay. That's great advice. Back to the wheels, spinoff of Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Is it reserve wheels by chance?
It's the reserve wheels.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Did you find the reserve? What they call the? He's on.
I didn't get that far.
It's like, just look up reserve high volume. You probably just put those 3 words in. You'll probably find it.
Okay.
Santa Cruz Reserve. So I don't know enough whether I can did you find it?
No, not yet.
Oh, I don't know if I can recommend them, but I did buy 4 different sets of them.
Gosh. So
I'm going
you mentioned costs.
I'm going to test them out. Yeah. The cheaper ones were like $20 for 2.
Okay.
Normally you're spending $15 anyways.
Oh, that's true. So a little bit more.
So I'll tell you if it's worth it. I don't know.
But you mentioned like the cost. So like what you just listed there, I mean, what are we talking? Maybe $150 or so, and you got like, a pretty decent setup.
So like $30 for a hex and Torx. I'd say, $50 for a pump. All your, all your consumables is probably another $40. So you're sitting at $100 or like $120. Chain brake is like $20, $140, and a torque wrench. It just can span, but let's just say $30. So $150.
Okay.
$150 for the kind of basic bike specific tools. And, the reserve Fillmore tubeless valves, $50 a piece, $50 for the pair.
For the pair.
Yeah.
Fillmore.
They're supposed to be amazing.
But you should be using them for a while, I would imagine.
Yeah.
They don't get gummed up.
Yeah. So again, I bought some of the other brands.
Yeah.
I'm going to try them out, and if they're awesome,
report back.
Eventually, I'll buy those, but I haven't done it yet.
So the first $150, and then once you get beyond that, certain more specialized tools,
and then you get to the shit that I have in my garage.
Yeah, and that's where I would imagine more specialized, maybe the higher price, et cetera. Times. Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at I made a mistake and cross-threaded, and we're going to talk maybe in a future podcast. We'll talk about what I did to this brand new full suspension downhill carbon frame that I jacked up, but it had to retap the bottom bracket because I made a really, really stupid maintenance mistake or mechanic mistake. And I looked at the Park tap for a 73 millimeter BSA English thread, which is kind of reverse drive side and right side reverse threaded. The Italian threads both the same way. Anyway, so I'm getting kind of deep into it here, but it was $700
for that one tool,
for the tool to rethread.
Yeah.
And so I called around to all my buddies that are like, amateur mechanics or like have side hustles. And they're all kind of like the same. Like, I'm like, first of all, don't ask me why I need this. I'm not going to tell you why I need this. This is for me. I'm not fixing someone else's.
Yeah.
And they were disappointed that I didn't have it. And I actually found one of our amateur buddies, Papa Crumpet, right around the street. He has the tap tool.
He does?
He's got it in his home shop. Wow. Anyway, shout out to Ben's Bikes. We had Ben on.
You saved the day.
Yeah, they retapped it and got me all set. And actually I had to take, because there's a bash guard that I didn't have on there, and I had to take the bottom bracket out after I got it back from him, and it came out silky smooth and went back in silky smooth. So he
retapped carbon.
No, so it's aluminum inside a car. I think it's aluminum.
Well,
it might be
how
steel,
they do that. Okay.
But there's an insert inside the carbon.
All right. Okay.
For this particular Gorilla Gravity Smash bike.
That's great. They were able to fix that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, so let's see. We talked about today, like things that you can do to avoid getting hurt. And so, make sure that your bike's in good working order. And we kind of went through the M check, starting with the back, because we left to right, the M check. We went through, the gear, and maybe, U.S. military uses checklists. Maybe you could use checklists too. And there's a ton of like checklist apps out there. So, just put it on your damn phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Make a mountain bike checklist. Matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and put a checklist in the show notes for you.
Yeah.
You can just copy it and paste it.
Yep, there you go. Done.
We got you.
Something I don't think we put on that list, though, the checklist, speaking of, is some sort of a beacon or a Strava.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
That's a great point. So like if you don't use Strava, you should. And if for no other reason, well, there's other tools that do this as well. Having some type of beacon capability that tells someone that's not you, that's like at home or whatever, where you're at with some type of crash detection as well, is like super, super valuable. Yeah. And I have used it to rescue family members and friends on more than one occasion.
No kidding.
So either the Strava beacon, I think Garmin's got the same thing. I'm sure, I think Wahoo's got the same. I think they all have it, but just use some type of beacon if you're out there riding, especially if you're riding by yourself. Mm-hmm. And at a minimum, if you're not using a beacon or you don't have that available to you, let some people know like where you're going and the route that you're planning to ride.
Yeah, at a minimum. All right. Yeah. So we went over that. And then lastly, we went through stay positive when you're down and out.
Ways to stay positive. We said heavy drugs. Right. Kidding. We said watch ice baths, watch YouTube, find other ways to exercise, and buy a lot of shit.
Yep. And then that's the best recap ever. Yeah. And then the garage tools. Kind of get your bike set up. So this is fun, Josh.
Yeah, it was a good chat. Hope some folks learned something, got to think about it, and maybe if you take one thing away, and if you take anything away from this, I think just remember the M check.
Yeah, and make the time as part of your process just before you ride.
Do the M check. Yeah, remember that. Yeah, and the M check came from Mike.
Which I
M.
Yeah, Mike. There you go, Mikey.
Yeah, we're all talking into mics right now. The M check. If you take anything away from this, remember the M check. It was nice talking to y'all.